Right then guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another Newcastle United lineup prediction video ahead of the Newcastle versus Brighton game tomorrow at St James's Park, 3 o'clock kickoff. Newcastle look to increase their 7-game unbeaten streak to 8. It's been over 10 years since Newcastle went unbeaten for 7 games in the Premier League. I don't know how long it's been since Newcastle did it for 8 games, but long story short is we want to keep that record going. Newcastle have also won 4 out of the last 5 games in the Premier League as well, so great form, taking on a Brighton side who have not been on great form. Decent season overall, currently sitting in 10th, but have lost their last 3 games in a row. One stat that Brighton does have, however, is that they have never lost to Newcastle in the Premier League. They have never conceded a goal at St James's Park in the Premier League. They are going to be running with that tomorrow. That's a stat they are going to want to keep going, and it's a stat that we want to try and change. In terms of the lineups for tomorrow's game, Eddie Howe has been out and done his press conference this morning where he spoke a little bit about availability of players. No update on Trippier or Wilson, unfortunately. I think it will still be some time before we hear a little bit more on them too. There was an update though on Saint-Max. Now, it's understood that he has not trained with the team this week, and it's actually today is his first day of training back. Eddie Howe, again, similar to the Brentford game, said it would have to be a late decision on whether he would be able to feature. So we'll bear that in mind. I think for me, I think it's sounding very unlikely that he will start tomorrow's game. I actually think it's sounding unlikely that he will feature at all in tomorrow's game. I would not be surprised to potentially see him turn up on the bench, and maybe if things aren't going to plan, we can bring him on later in the game. But having not trained all week until today, I think to expect him to start tomorrow would be unlikely. And then in terms of the rest of the lineup, to be honest, I think it will be very similar to the Brentford one. So we'll just jump into it straight away again. In goal, Dubravka, nice and easy. Left back, it's going to be Matt Targett. Phenomenal performance, by the way, against Brentford. And I know Brentford were 10 men, so I will throw that out there. You know, it does always help you look a little bit better when you're playing a team with 10 men. But Targett, again, fully solid defensively and going forward as well. Fully expect him to start. Centre-backs, Dan Burn and Shaw, once again, it's their position to lose because they have been brilliant in the last few games. And spoiler alert, that's who I expect to start tomorrow. The only way I can potentially see, you know, Lascelles coming back into the side is if one or two, if they don't play a good game, B, there's an injury, or C, we are coming up to quite a hectic run of fixtures. We play Southampton on Thursday, we then play Chelsea on the following Thursday, we then play Everton on the Thursday again, and actually the Crystal Palace game after that's been postponed because of FA Cup, but we'll play 2 games in about 3 days, so potentially we might see some changes there. You know, if you've got the squad of players to use to give players breaks, then I can see that, but I think for this game right now, and an important one against Brighton, I cannot see Eddie Howe changing them too. And then right back, Crafty. I mean, Manquillo obviously was injured, so Kraft came in, wasn't necessarily the first choice right back behind Trippier or Manquillo for me, but he did all right against West Ham. I think that the goal was probably his fault, and then against Brentford, you know, we had all the ball, we didn't really do anything defensively, so he did all right then as well. I would say that if Manquillo is fit, that I would play him, and I think he's probably who I will put in my starting 11. But again, it's what Eddie Howe thinks and what confidence he's got in Kraft to, you know, keep a solid back line. And as I say, the last 2 games he's done okay. You know, so again, is it fair to drop them after what was a clean sheet against Brentford and a decent performance against West Ham? I don't know. You let me know. Moving into midfield now, and again, the question that will be asked every week, I think, is will Bruno start? We did see him come on for a good 30 minutes or so against Brentford, so it was great to see him on the pitch, getting some game time. Will he start against Brighton? Will we drop Joe Linton, who scored a goal and again is playing like prime Vieira? Will we drop Willock, who again scored a goal, making good runs into the box? Will we drop Shelvey, who again I think sits, ranked third out of them three, but only because of how good them two are. It's not to say that Shelvey's even played a bad game, to be honest. I think he's, considering, a couple of years ago, I probably would have told you that he didn't have much left in the tank. The way he's been playing this season has been really good. Is Eddie Howe going to split up that midfield three when it's working? And again, it's still 50-50, I think, with a lot of people, because I've almost spoken about this in two ways. I've said that we've spent all this money on him. He's clearly a fantastic player. We should be playing him. But at the same time, we've just gone unbeaten for 7 games for the first time in 10 years. It's tough, because again, I want this guy to play, but who are you dropping? That's the question. I mean, we'll do the easy ones first. Wood is going to be up front. He still hasn't scored, but we're hoping we're going to change that very soon. Fraser is going to play. Now, again, depending on whether you're playing St. Max or not, would possibly change where Fraser plays. He has obviously been playing on the right-hand side. We swapped that to the left for the Brentford game, and he was brilliant, him and Target linking up. So if there's no St. Max, I think we'll play Fraser left. And then right-hand side, again, I just can't see Maxi starting. I think one day's training's not enough, so I'm hoping we might see him later on. Hopefully he's fit enough to come on later on. Or actually, I hope we're winning 2-0 and we don't have to bring him on. That would be better. Give him a full game, an extra full games break before we go into a Thursday and a Sunday game where we may well do with him in both. So I would actually say that instead. I would say Fraser left and then Murphy right. Again, we're not particularly strong in those wing positions, and it seems that Almiron is not the choice of Eddie Howe, so I think it will be Murphy. Again, it's not to say that he had a bad game against Brentford, but I just think there was some other players like Joe Linton, Willock and Fraser who was so good, it kind of overshadows what some of the other guys were doing. But who knows, maybe Murphy will, again, if he's playing on that right-hand side as well, get that ball in to Wood. Let's try and get the crosses going. And then to finish things off, it's to answer that question, who in the midfield three is playing? Again, it's Willock's going to play, Joe Linton's going to play. They're both doing brilliant. And again, the question is, are we going to play Shelvey again, or will Bruno come in? I think it will be Shelvey. I think we will see changes to this team across the next week. I think St. Max will come back. I think that with 2 games in 3 days, we could well see Bruno getting his first start in one of those games. Whether it's Southampton or whether it's Chelsea at the weekend, I would bet that if he doesn't start today, it will definitely be in one of the next 2 games. And I would also not be surprised if we potentially saw some changes in the centre-back positions as well, because of those 2 tight games in a row. But we will have to wait and see. But that is my prediction that I'm going for to tomorrow's game. As I say, I was worried going into the Brentford game not having St. Max. I was worried going into that game because I didn't know where our creativity and our scoring threat was going to come from. And again, we did play a team with 10 men, but Fraser getting down that wing and crossing the ball in, Joe Linton, not just getting praised for his defensive work, but actually getting in the box and getting himself a goal is top quality. So I have more confidence going into this game without St. Max than I did in the previous, but hopefully he is back soon. And as well, I would still like to have him on the bench so that if things aren't quite going right, we can bring him on later in the game. Alright guys, thank you for watching. As always, let me know your lineup predictions down below. Again, I will be back tomorrow with the pre-match chat. I'll be there after the game with the instant reaction. I'll have the match vlog. There'll be loads of videos tomorrow, so if you're watching still now 10 minutes later and you're not subscribed, then hit that button, get the notifications on, and fingers crossed we can have a good game tomorrow. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.